Mini episode 1550 of the FDH Lounge is brought to you by Sportsology, delivering unconventional columns and webcasts about sports, TV, music, movies, and more. Follow them on the web at sportsology.com.
The FDH Lounge. You want to schedule your life around it.
A long time ago, on a gloomy, wet Cleveland spring night, two men stand alone amidst the late-night drizzle. Their voices echo across the vacant station parking lot as they debate the merits of the great American radio show that have been missing for far too long. On that night, an idea was born. That idea became the FDH Lounge. Welcome to the FDH Lounge.
Welcome to FDH Lounge Mini Episode 1550. I'm FDH Lounge Managing Partner Rick Morris here with our spoiler-free review of the HBO series Boardwalk Empire. Here's our top 5 notes of interest about this Prohibition-era piece. Number 5, one of the great supporting actors of our time, Steve Buscemi, shines in the lead role as Enoch Nucky Thompson, treasurer of Atlantic County, New Jersey, and a fascinating combination political boss/mob boss. He is loosely based on the real-life figure Enoch Johnson. Nucky is the protege of the boss emeritus of politics and crime in the area, the Commodore, Louis Kestner. Louis's illegitimate son Jimmy, born of a relationship with an underage runaway that Nucky facilitated, becomes Nucky's protege as Jimmy's mother, Jillian, becomes progressively deranged. The Commodore is loosely based on a real-life figure, as is Nucky's younger brother Eli, the sheriff and enforcer for the machine. Nucky, who is rendered a widower under tragic circumstances, finds the family that he had been yearning for with pious young widow and single mother Margaret Thompson. A host of other colorful characters, some fictional and some representations of some of the most notorious figures of the era, interact with Nucky as he helps to elect the Republican presidents of the 1920s while serving as one of the most powerful bootleggers of the era. One of the great fictional figures is Nelson Van Alden, a sanctimonious prohibition agent who poses a major threat to Nucky in season 1 before diverting down a very unpredictable path. Number 4. The real-life figures leap off the screen with colorful intensity. Al Capone, Lucky Luciano, Meyer Lansky, Arnold Rothstein, Johnny Torrio, J. Edgar Hoover, and political fixer turned U.S. Attorney General Harry Daugherty. The program abides by the real-life history of these characters. Number 3, the cast, as you might expect for a big-budget HBO production helmed by Terrence Winter with Martin Scorsese as another executive producer, is magnificent. Buscemi is joined by such greats as Dabney Coleman, Michael Pitt, Kelly MacDonald, Shea Whigham, Michael Shannon, Michael Stuhlbarg, Michael Kenneth Williams, Stephen Graham, Jack Houston, Gretchen Mol, Jeff Pearson, Ron Livingston, Patricia Arquette, Bobby Cannavale, James Cromwell, Stephen Root, and legendary FDH Lounge guest Dominic Chianese, among others. Number 2. The show covers many elements of life in the 1920s and 30s that other shows have not, such as life from female, black, and Jewish perspectives. The role of the women's temperance movement in Prohibition is highlighted, as well as the dawn of women's suffrage. Granted, much of the black and Jewish material comes from the underworld, and Nucky's attempts to forge political and criminal alliances for the purposes of the Atlantic County machine, but these slices of life do broaden the program's material. Number 1. Boardwalk Empire is a fun and engrossing look at a unique time and place in American life. The backdrop of carnival music from the boardwalk into Nucky's personal and professional base of operations in the Ritz-Carlton is but one constant reminder that this show is unlike anything you've seen before. Political, law enforcement, and underworld storylines build up each season, cross-pollinating and culminating in spectacular fashion. The very transactional Nucky, who assumes that all relationships can be built or repaired with money, finds that the common touch that he fakes for the public is something necessary that he lacks in real life when alliances around him dissolve in bitterness. The backstory revealed in the final season about the origins of Nucky's rise adds poignant and necessary background about what becomes of him in the end. Through it all, the web that is spun by the writers makes the most of its canvas with both the fictional and non-fictional elements, and it all adds up to a viewing experience that we highly recommend. Thank you for joining us for this mini episode of the FDH Lounge.